think it's really special starting off the trip in New York for me. And the fact that the people we're interviewing are just a few miles away from me, a train ride away from me. It's crazy to know that.
I remember growing up in a place that was violent and dangerous, and I knew that at a very early age. I'm 65. I was just telling a group of folk all of my friends are dead. None of them survived. You know, you are relatively young at 65 in lots of places, but not in these places, right? They're not. There are some things about these places. I mean, we all learned to smoke. We all learned to drink. We all smoking weed we were 14, 15 years old. Everybody thought drinking was getting drunk. You had to fight. That was just, you were growing up, you had to learn how to fight. That was just part of growing up. You learned all of these behaviors as kids. And all of that stuff kills you.
How did you cope living in this environment? What did you learn? How did you adapt? And how did you get out of it?
The way I started accepting that I had to change myself was there was new gangs had come out, a bunch of kids. They were like 14, 15. Now I'm 19. I've grown up in the toughest part of the Bronx. I know how to fight. I think I'm a tough guy. But they're like these 25 kids. They're kids, and they're controlling everything. My mom says, oh, look, when you go to the store, don't go up 183rd Street, because that's where those gang kids hang out. So the first time I went home, I was going around a corner. I said to myself, it's crazy, I can't live like this. So I legally bought me a gun. Solved that problem. Now I come back home, have my gun, put it in my pocket, but that gun began to talk to me. It started saying, you're in America. Why you have to walk up another side of the street? Why don't you walk up the side of the street? You want the stores on that side, walk up. So now I'm walking past the kids. But in the Bronx, you know, you don't look people in the eye. So I'm walking past the kids, but I'm not looking at them. That gun was like, you look at anybody you want. So now I'm looking at those kids. So the kids see me, I'm looking at them, they looking at me. Who this guy think he is, bopping through our neighborhood? I realized that I was going to end up shooting those kids, because they were going to attack me, and I was going to shoot them. And I didn't really want to kill anybody. And I took that gun to the dump and threw it away. And I realized I had to deal with this thing another way.
You've talked about getting out, and I relate to that so much, because I grew up in Appalachia, and our community really deals with a lot of prescription pills and a lot of opioid, and both of my parents were addicts all throughout my life. But I have this desire and this need to go back and to change, because that's where I come from. That's my home. And I see that you've done that. You've went back and you took all that passion and everything that you went through growing up. What made you decide that, yeah, I may not fit in, but I'm still going to go back and I'm still going to work at it?
I really wanted to go back like you do. I really wanted to go back to my community and make a difference. I wanted to prove that there were answers, and you could go in and save those folks that people had they had written off. They had said all these terrible things about them, that they can't go, they had names for them and all that stuff. I wanted to eliminate all of that stuff. And by the way, people know about it now, but like I told you, I've been here 34 years. The first 10 years I was here, no one knew anything about anything. I was working hard, just trying to figure out a way to save my kids and my community. I took all of that stuff that happened and tried to use it for something good. And when I say I wouldn't be who I am and where I am had that stuff not happened to me, I really mean that. Your life may not make sense to you right now, what you're going through, what the experience that you've had, but I've learned, I believe this deeply. If you're a righteous person, if you do the right thing, if you're really using your gifts for good and not for evil, I believe that these experiences you're having, that they'll become clear why that's important in making you who you want to be. But at some point in your life, you'll be like, oh, that's why, as long as you're open for the experience.
I just spark a black and mind, no more acting wild. Been slacking for a while, no more backing down. Full as a struggle every day to find the pieces of the puzzle. The weak are trying to muzzle what you have to say. So show the whole damn world why you act this way. Even when I get older, my mind fades away. I know in the end it'll be okay.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure to subscribe for more videos like this and click the link to keep watching, because next up, the team goes to Washington, D.C., where they got to meet the one and only Michelle Obama. And she had some awesome advice for getting to and through college. So be sure to check that out. Thank you.